Very sorry. And good evening. We'll start the session now. Give me 1 second. I will post the message also. Yeah. I will start with the prayer as usual. I hope you can see me, hear my voice clearly. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome. And I'm extremely sorry for the late. Let's start with the prayer first. Take the blessings from the gurus and the gods for the today's lesson. As you feel you are done, slowly open your eyes. Hope everybody was fine. Didn't I disable? Yeah, great. Give me 1 second. Yeah. I will share this screen now. I skipped the revision part today because I was too late. I skipped the revision part today. We're directly getting into the lesson. Give me 1 second. I'm sharing the screen. Okay, everybody can see the screen.
Madam?
Yeah?
Yeah, madam. Hello, madam?
Yeah.
Madam, you may ask me something? I have just one doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Madam, what happened? Last week you said regarding the Kendra, no? 14710. Hello?
Yeah,
regarding
yeah.
Then the first, suppose my lagna is sim lagna. That is from that day that we had start the first from that. That is the first one.
Yes.
For counting 14710, I have to start my lagna and where the lagna is there.
Okay. For your easiest understanding, I show you the North Indian chart. Otherwise, you can use the South Indian chart. But when coming into the question for you, your lagna, the one is start from your lagna only. There was no change. Okay.
So,
but in the North Indian chart, the houses are fixed. How in a Southern Indian chart, the rashis are fixed, right? In the North Indian chart, the houses are fixed. 1, 4, 7, 10, that houses are fixed. You have to put the graha into it and the rasi will rotate. But in the Southern Indian chart, everything was fixed. Rasi was fixed and your lagna will rotate. Okay, for easiest understanding, I showed the North Indian chart. Otherwise, we can follow the Southern Indian chart itself.
For example, my lagna is sim lagna. The sim lagna is for that is on the 5th house. Sim lagna. Then for fifth element, the fifth element that will be first one.
Wait. Don't confuse. Your lagna is your first house.
No, that is lagna in this Rashi chart. That is considering this one. That is on first, second, third, fourth, fifth house. So that is the first. That is the first one.
Okay, I understand your question. We will clear in the today's class itself, and I will show you the example also. I know and I understand where is your confusion is coming from. We'll definitely clear today itself. Okay. Give me a few more minutes, and I will definitely solve it.
Sure. Okay, madam. Carry.
Well, go ahead with today's lesson. Okay. Anyway, we are preparing for understanding the Shadbala only, but before we entering into that knowledge, we have to understand something basic about it. So when we are learning about the Shadbala, it will be very easy for us. Okay. Okay. Last week, for our understanding only, I'll show this North Indian chart. We are not going to practice on the North Indian chart. We are definitely going to practice on the Southern Indian chart one. But why I show this one? For easy understanding of you can easily find out the Kendra easily. But in the Southern Indian chart, if I show next one, okay, consider this one. If I want to figure out the one, consider Mesha as your lagna, the 1 and the 4, 7 and the 10. So when I see this one, this is the Kendra. Understanding of that Kendra will be little bit difficult because our vision will not perfectly match. The picturization will not be sufficient. That's why I showed this North Indian chart. You can easily figure out what are the Kendra. The Kendra means whichever inside. Most of the time, the human can observe this Kendra energy very easily. And the auspicious also, it's very high in this Kendra houses, 1, 4, 7, 10. So if you are easily remembering this one, then you no need to see this North Indian chart itself. If you are, whenever you see this Southern Indian chart, you can easily understand 1, 4, 7, 10 is the Kendra. Your vision will directly getting into these places. Consider my Lagna, consider you are checking for a Dhanush Lagna. Okay, let's have one small practice. Okay, consider this is your Tula Lagna, sorry, Dhanush Lagna. From here, which is the 4th house? Considered your Dhanush is your Lagna. Which is the 4th house?
Pisces.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Pisces. And another thing, 7. Which is the 7th?
Taurus.
5, 6, 7. Taurus?
Gemini.
Gemini. Okay, one easiest thing I will tell you. For the Southern Indian chart, one thing we can easily figure out is the 7th house. Whichever you are considered your Dhanu, then exact direct 7th house. That is your Gemini, Mithuna. Okay.
But Vanita, it is the 7th house from the Lagna.
Lagna, yes, from the Lagna. Correct.
If it is from the Lagna, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Gemini. Right, right. Got it. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is 7th house. Now find the 10th house. We find out Lagna, 1. 4th house we find it. 7th house we find it. Now find the 10th house.
Kanya.
Virgo.
8, 9, 10.
Kanya.
Yeah, Kanya. Okay. So that's why we have to find out Kendra. Finding in the Southern Indian chart a little bit difficult, but if you remember the houses, it will be easy for us. Okay. That is the Lagna, 1st house, wherever you are Lagna. Now we are taken as an example as the Dhanush. Considered it as Makara Lagna. Okay, let's go for a different. Kadaga Lagna, Karka Lagna. Okay. It's on the 1st house for you. Consider whoever you are seeing. Kadaka Lagna is the Karka Rasi is the Lagna for them. That is their 1st house. Now find the 4th house from the Kadaka Rasi. Tula. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the 4th house becomes the Tula Rasi. From here, find the 7th house.
Makara.
5, 6, 7, Makara. Okay. Now find the 10th house.
Mesha.
8, 9, 10. Okay. Is this much clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but when you are seeing into the North Indian chart, this will be very much easy because it was already into it. So when you are seeing into the Kendra houses in North India, you can easily find out whatever the diamond inside, that becomes your Kendra. But finding in the Southern Indian chart, little bit you have to put the effort. That's it. Otherwise, you can easily find out 1, 4, 7, 10. Then your Kendra houses will become easy for you. Okay. Okay. From there, this is for your understanding. I'm showing this. Otherwise, this is have no today's lesson. We are going to see about the Upachayas. Okay, Upachaya means, let's understand the meaning of the Upachaya. Upachaya means it is giving the growth in your every phases. For example, the kid was studying. In the beginning, he or she was a very average student. Okay, but when the days goes, when the years goes on, when the age goes on, the kid become very powerful, very intelligent and intellect person. That why? Because the graha will grows on the ages. That it's a growing phase. That is called upachaya. Upachaya means whatever the graha in it, it will in this auspiciousness, it grows on the ages. Okay. Remember that one single point. It will be grow on your ages. Okay. Then what are the upachaya houses? It's on your 3rd house, 6th house, 10th house, and the 11th house. This all becomes your upachayas. Now we'll see the same thing in the North Indian chart. Remember this one. 3, 6, 11, and 10. Okay. Okay, now consider this is the 3rd house. Oh, sorry. Now the ascendant becomes the Makara. Okay, now this is the 3rd house. third house and the sixth house. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me start here. Okay, the third house, sixth house, and 10th and the 11th house. Let's see here. Third house and the sixth house and the 10th house and the 11th house becomes your upachayas. What does that mean? Consider there was one graha in it. Consider there was a Buddha in the third house. What it will do in the early stages, it won't give any kind of the auspicious in your life. But when the days goes on, when your age grows on, the auspiciousness will increase. Okay. So remember this, this house is 3, 6, 10, 11. This house is become your upachayas.
But Vanita, if you have like Ketu in these houses or say Saturn, then how is it?
The same thing applicable. If the Sunny was in the third house, the Sunny is okay. There was one thing about the Sunny. Whichever the houses the Sunny was set in, the Sunny will give good auspiciousness. But when the Sunny was looked into, the aspect will give the bad effect. It refers to the Guru. Whenever the Guru was set in, the auspicious graha is the Guru. But when the Guru was looking into the any houses, the aspect become too much auspiciousness. The Guru aspect is the very much auspiciousness. But when the Sunny was sit on the same place, it gives auspiciousness. Same thing will come. If the Ketu and Rahu will be there, for the same thing will come. The growing phases will be increased on the when the days goes on. There was no change in it. But here the tricky part here. When we remember this one, I don't want to confuse at this point. Remember this one. Don't confuse. So many things come into the picture. Now the layered learning will help you in the next phases. For example, currently we understand the 3, 6, 10, 11 is the upachaya. Remember that. Because there was the confusion will come very much. Too many confusions will come in the later lessons. Okay. Now remember this point only. 3 and 6, 10 and 11. It's a growing phase. It's a upachaya. Remember that point only. Then definitely you will have a confusion in today's lesson itself. I will tell you why in the next slide itself.
Vanita, sorry to interrupt you. Can you please show that North Indian chart once again?
Yeah.
I did not understand one thing here. The first house, ascendant, that is also named as number 10.
Oh, the 10th Rasi. 10th Rasi is your Makara Rasi. So in the first house, Rasi is the Makara Rasi.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So your Lagna is the Makara Lagna. Oh, okay. I forgot to tell you this one. This is a simple thing. Remember the first house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, seventh house. This was the default one. This not going to change. But remember the number will change. The Rasi will rotate. Rasi will change. The numbers here are Rasi. 10 is the Makara Lagna, and 11 is the Kumbha, 12, third house is the Meena, and the fourth house is the Mesha. Like that, it goes on. Is that clear? The number is the Rasi.
Yes,
Rasi.
yes, Vanita. It's clear now.
Yes. Yes.
Now move on. Okay, give me 1 second. I will plug my charger. I plugged it. I don't know why. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, we'll see in the next one. Okay, this is about the Dustana. Dustana means the the auspiciousness will be reduced to 0%. Remember that point. Auspiciousness completely reduced to 0%. So that becomes your Dusthana. And that is 6, 8, and 12. Okay, now here is the interesting point. The Upachaya will also have the 3, 6, 10, 11. And here the point, the 6th house is also Upachaya, is also a Dusthana. Okay. Now we'll put together all the knowledge into one chart now. Remember this point. The auspiciousness will be reduced completely to 0% when it was in the 12, 8, and 6. Okay. Now we'll take some time here. We will we'll go in a very slow pace. Till now, I know I went a little bit fast. Second. Yeah. Now we'll see everything in a very slow phase. Okay. Consider this is the Mesha Lagna. Okay. We are going to see the chart for the Mesha Lagna. Okay. Then at that point, what are okay, then we have to find out what are the Kendra first. For the Mesha Lagna, let's find out the Kendra. Kendra is the 1, 4, 7, and 10. Okay, first is the Mesha, and 4th is the Kadaka, and the 7th is the Tula, and 10th is the Makara. Okay, now we find out the Kendra houses 1, 4, 7, and 10. Now we'll find out the Trikona. Okay, now the Trikona is the 1, 5, and 9. It's on the Mesha Trikona, the Lagna itself a Trikona, and the 5th Simha becomes the Trikona, and the 9 Dhanu becomes the Trikona. Okay, now we'll see the second house. Okay, here is the point. The first house is your Kendra itself, is your Trikona itself, one of the Trikona itself. In other words, it's one point of your Trikona. So your Lagna, your Trikona, first house, your first house. Okay, now we'll see the Panapara. Panapara means from the Kendra, whatever the next one, the succeeding one becomes your Panapara. We'll see only the Panapara. Okay. Second house, Rishabha, and your Trikona, 5th house, Simha, that also a Trikona. Remember that point. Panapara as well as the Trikona. What is the meaning here? Why I am giving this point, additional point? Trikona is the auspiciousness one, and the Panapara gives the auspiciousness not 100%, at least 50%. So both the things are auspiciousness. Okay. And then we'll move on. One more thing. It is on the it's under 2, 5, and 8. 8 is again a Dusthana. Okay. Here the thing. 50% auspiciousness was there. But additionally, 0% auspiciousness is also there. That is, a Dusthana is also there, Panapara is also there. Remember this point. When we see in the chart, we can easily understand why this point we have to remember. Okay. Then one more Panapara is on your 11th house. Here is an interesting thing. Upachaya. Panapara is the auspiciousness, but not complete, but it was 50%, at least definitely you will get. But here the Upachaya is also additional into it. Why? When the auspiciousness was considered, your 50% auspiciousness was there. And Upachaya, when your age was growing, this is also grow. Your auspiciousness is also grow day by day, age by age, year by year. Okay, that's why when the 11th house is good, you have the very good graha in the 11th house or the good aspect on the 11th house, you will get everything in your life. There is also a story for the Ravana. When the Indrajit is Meghanath Indrajit is the Ravana's son. So when Meghnath was going to born, Ravana, what he did was he asked all the grahas to stay at the 11th house only, except the Ketu. Okay, stay everybody in the 11th house, and my son want to born as a very good warrior, and he will excel in all the study. That was his objective, and he did that. And the one thing was Sunny was did is he put his one leg towards the 12th house. That's why Indrajit death is also happened. So why I'm telling this story? if all the graha, some peoples will say, give me a second. If more number of the grahas, if it was in a one house, sometimes the people will say it may increase or decrease the auspiciousness. But if it's on the 11th house, if all the good grahas was in that will give you the good strength and good aspect also. Okay, that is the interesting of the 11th house. Okay, now we'll move on to the third one. Here is the apoklima as well as the upachaya. Okay, here is the point. Apoklima means from before the Kendra. If you can see here in the North Indian chart, you can easily understand this point. Okay, the third house, it becomes your apoklima. What does it mean? Before the Kendra, fourth house is your Kendra. So the before the house becomes your apoklima. Okay, that means the auspicians will be 20% only, not much. Okay. I don't know why this animation was done. Okay. I did that, I don't know. Okay. I will see in the apoklima. Apoklima and the upachaya. This was the interesting combination. The third house becomes your upachaya as well as the apoklima. That means the auspicious level will be very less. This is the point which I said in the beginning. Considered because of the apoklima, the child, I'm taking as an example as the education. It may be anything in your life. It may be in your wealth or health, anything. Okay. The kid will be very much sick in his young age, but when he grows, when you become an adult, the men or women become very much healthy. Okay, the apoklima will be reduced your auspiciousness, but your upachaya will increase the auspiciousness year by year. Okay, then we'll come into.
Please mute your phones.
Can we please mute?
Vinita, you please
Yeah,
mute everyone.
yes, I do. I did. Okay, now coming to the fourth house. The fourth house is the Kendra. Okay, the Kendra means you will have the auspiciousness highly. The strength of the auspiciousness will be high in the fourth house. Now we'll move on to the fifth one. Okay, the fifth is the Trikona as well as the Panapara. The too much auspiciousness, it will there. Why? The Trikona itself, the strength of the auspiciousness will be high in the Trikona as well as the Panapara. What is that meaning, Panapara? It's next to your Kendra. Okay. Then we'll come into the sixth house, the very, very interesting house. Sixth house is the Dustana. That means 0% of your auspiciousness. And the Upachaya. Upachaya, whatever in it, it will grow day by day, age by age. Apoklima. Apoklima means auspiciousness will be very, very little. 25% one. If there was not, it will reduce because it was before the Kendra, not big auspiciousness. Okay. So that's why whatever the thing which is in the sixth house, the people will see is a very, they will think, okay, remember the sixth house is also, it comes for your, what is the sixth house is meant for? You remember anything?
Rogue,
the disease, your enemies,
loans.
Yeah, your loans will also come into the sixth house. Consider at one point in time, if you are the graha in the sixth place, it was not in a good one, and you buy a loan from that point. What it will do? The loan will grow. Whatever the loan you get from the others, it will grow. Sometimes you may not get money from the other people's if you give a loan also. This is also happen if the point at the sixth house is not having a good graha. We'll see it later. I don't want to confuse you. Consider this. The one point you have to understand here is the auspicious level only. Okay. Forget about everything. Why? We will go slow phases, but I will add on the layer on the top of it, each layers. So you will easily understand when you are going for analyzing this chart. Okay, one more request my end also. Whenever you are doing analyzing your chart, don't come into the conclusion, don't come into the judgment easily, very quickly. Okay, practice it like this. Yeah, how many charts you are seeing from your eyes, that will develop your experience tremendously. Okay, whenever you see anything in the 6th house, don't come into the conclusion, okay, it was a bad horoscope. No horoscope is the bad horoscope. Why I'm telling this? Because your horoscope, that the natal chart, it was on the hora, it is the snapshot of you, of any of the human beings. It's not you and me, any of the human being. That moment, that point in time, the universe have this kind of an energy. That's one snapshot. You take it as a picture. That kind of an energy, whatever the energy you become as a human being, that becomes your snapshot of it. So that's why whenever you're seeing as a horoscope, make it as with full respect. And okay, the one more thing. This week onwards, we are going to do the number of the homeworks. I know you are all busy, but spend some time to do some homeworks. Grab number of people's chart. Okay, who are the people's ask them to give their birth details. Okay, the people are not convenient, or not feeling comfort to give them, don't force them. Whoever the peoples, if they are willing to give, ask them, get as many chart as possible. Okay, next week I'm going to tell you about the one chart Jagannath Hora software, how you can use it. Usually Kenisar will use the Astro Stage, and other software also he will use. But the Jagannath Hora software is a free one. You will understand many things in the Jagannath Hora itself. That software we'll learn about in the next week. But before that, we have to prepare ourselves how we can use that software. So there are so many things in that. But before that, if you want to use that software efficiently, you have to learn some things in a basic. Okay, remember this one also. You may very well in astrology, because I'm treating you as a you didn't know. Okay, remember that point. As I think like you are learning the basics. So when I say you didn't know, my understanding about is you may be a good astrologer, but for me, you are learning the basics. So don't mistaken at that point. Whenever I say you have to learn this, you have to learn that. Okay. Okay, let's come back to here. Okay, for that, get as much as chart as possible. Okay. Now, if you
Hello, madam.
yeah.
Madam, I just want to confirm. What time to me last session you told me that take the horoscope and mark this Kendras 1, 4, 7, 10, 2, 5, 8, 11, 3, 6, 9, 12, and 3 corner 159. Same thing, no? We have to do.
Yeah, we have to do.
No,
But this week you have. Yeah, go ahead.
What I'm asking, suppose I got my children, wife, all 3, 4 horoscopes are there. I have to only mark this one. What are the rashis and grahas are there on 1, 4, 7, 10, 2, 5, 8, 11, 3, 6, 9, 12, and then 159. That's what you have told me.
Yes. That's it. That easy, right?
That what grahas are there, we have to write and keep it. When you in the next session, you will brief what is be done. Correct? Am I correct?
Yeah. You have to point out. Okay. Consider this is your horoscope. Okay. Consider. Okay. I will show you as in one example also. Consider there was an imagine this is your horoscope as the Mesha Lagna. Okay. Now, when I ask you to write 1, 4, 7, 10, in your chart you have to understand what is your Kendra. There is also a thing will come. Okay, consider in your Mesha, you have a Surya. And in the in the 4th house, let me finish this. In the 4th house, you may not have any Graha in it. That is okay. That's fine. Yeah. Even then, make a note as the Kendra. Because that 4th house, we have to, even though it was not having a Graha in it, but it have an impact because it has a owner of the whoever the Rasi it was in it. It has the owner, and it have owner means the ruler of that Rasi. So we have to consider everything. So in your chart, fix. Fill all the 12 boxes. Okay. Consider this is the Mesha Lagna. Then I have to know my Kendra is on the 1, 4, 7, 10 because the Mesha will start on the 1 itself. So this one will. And what are my Fanafaras? What are my Apoklima? Even though there was no Graha in it, that is okay. If there was a Graha in it, written on the box itself.
Okay,
There,
okay.
Mesha, Surya, in the something, whatever the graha in it,
Okay.
write down that also. So
Suppose
whenever
nothing is there.
Small.
If nothing is there, nil.
nothing is
If
there,
some
leave it. Now, if there was no graha, leave it. The empty box will be. But you have to return that houses becomes. Okay, now I will give an example. Consider this is the first house, Meksha Lagna. I know it was a Kendra and the Trikona. It also has a Surya graha in it. But when comes into the Rishabha, I don't have an graha, but it was a Panapara for me. So what I have to write? Panapara. And there was no graha in it, right? So leave it as an empty. Go to the third box. It is Apoklima and Upachaya. Consider there was a moon in it. Then come to the fourth house. It was a Kendra for me, right? Right as a Kendra. There was no graha in it. Leave it. Move on to the next one. Trikona, Panafara. There was no graha in it. Move on to the next one. Here I have one graha that is Ketu. Make it is the Dushtana, Upachaya, Apoklima. Then move on to the next one. This much clear?
a bit okay, madam. Bit confused. Okay, we carry on. Bit confusing.
I think you're all confused.
Vinita, can I say? Vinita, can I say?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, basically, whoever was talking just now, I want to tell him that we only have to look at the houses, ignore the Rashis for a minute, correct?
No.
Only the house we write Kendra and Panapana and
Okay,
Dostana.
I will give you a sample for it. Okay, don't get confused here. I will give you the sample for
Okay,
that.
but my question was, I want you to explain sixth house again, please, with the three Dostana and
Wait, I not yet finished. Wait. I will come back to that. Why I stopped at the sixth house? Because you have to get the number of the charts as much as chart you collect from your friends, you collect from our group also. You whoever willing to share your birth details, chat. But remember, you have to treat that horoscope with 100% respect. And whoever the chart with you, even if the person, if you are getting from the person, you don't like him, you not even like to sit next to him, but you got the birth details and he is also willing to give you, but get it, but treat them as a due respect. Okay, I know you all know this, but this is my responsibility. I have to say this. But remember, whoever the chart, whoever the person will be, you don't like a person for even a bit. Don't worry about that. But treat the horoscope as with due respect. Okay. Even though you know this thing, I will tell you one more thing also. Whenever you are going to take this horoscopes in your printout, but usually in I don't know how people do in the North Indian side. In the Southern Indian side, whenever whatever they do, whether if they are going to write out the horoscope or they are going to print out, they put the turmeric on the four ends. Okay, there was one kind of the belief system in the Southern Indian part also. In any of the white sheet, if you put the turmeric at four end, it becomes the Indra sheet for you. And usually yantra will be craved on the copper or any kind of a metal, right? But when you are returning on a paper, if you put the turmeric on it, it becomes auspiciousness and they treat it as the yantra. Okay, so leave all this point.
What is Tirendra?
Oh, I should not use that word. Okay, remember that one. Whenever you take a horoscope as a printout, at least put one turmeric point at the tip or anywhere at the 4 points. It was not a mandatory, but in order to treat as increase the auspiciousness or in order to respect the horoscope, you can treat them as the 4 endpoints as put the turmeric in it. But don't make it as a mandatory, because as we are students, we have number of chart we have to analyze. If you want to put a turmeric in every chart, you will get tired and you don't like to do that also. But sometimes if you want to treat them with the full respect, there's all the few ways you can show the respect. Okay, and then up to you however you want to treat. Okay, because the students may see number of the charts, you don't need to do all these things. Most of the time we see all the charts in the software itself. We can't put the turmeric in the system, right? Leave the thing. I'm just giving us a tip. Okay, let's come back here.
Vanita,
Okay.
just can I give a small suggestion? Would it be okay to maintain an Excel file in our Google Drive with all the birth details so that everyone gets a vast array of chart to look at?
Yeah, that's awesome idea. Is that okay? Then if everybody was agree with that, we can definitely do. That will be a good idea. Yeah. And you can also share your birth details if you're really comfortable and willing to do that.
I am comfortable. Anybody can use my chart.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. You can share it. Okay. Don't share here. Share in the group chat. I mean, our WhatsApp group itself. Of course, we have to make it as a closed group only, not exposed to anyone. Okay. Otherwise, you know how to treat that also. Okay. Let's come back here. So have number of the charts to analyze. At least 20 charts you collect. Take a time, at least 1 week or two weeks time. Collect 20 charts at least. Okay, you no need to understand anything in it. Okay, just point out what is the Kendra, what is the Phanapara, what is the Apoklima, what is the Upachaya, what is the Trikona. That much more than enough. Okay, but even if you don't, if you are very lazy to write, also see in your eyes. If you can able to find out when you're seeing the chart, if you can able to find out 1 4 7 10 in the chart in your mind's eye, that is more than enough. But in the beginning, write everything. That is the biggest practice, and that will help you a lot. Okay, that is my suggestion. But some people are really very good in the vision. When they see anything in front of them, they can easily find out the pattern. But if you are good in that, go ahead with that. But my suggestion, write all the time. Make a note of it. Write a chart and find out which is the Kendra, which is the Trikona. It should become your it comes from back from your head. You no need to think about it even for a second. You understand what is the Trikona 159. Okay, what is the Upachaya? What is the Dushtana? It have to come from back from your head. You no need to think and tell that. Okay.
Madam, in brief, that means, madam, hello.
Yeah,
In brief, what thing we had to do is Kendra. There is one, we have to mark 1 4 7 10, then 2 5 8 11, 3 6 9 1 12, then 3 6 1 10 11, and then Dushtana 6 8 12. That's all, no?
That's all.
That all the things we have to mark on the chart.
Yes.
Whatever chart we take, we have to mark. All the 5, 1 2 3 4 5 things. A Trikona. 1 5. Is it correct, no? Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Okay. Let's sorry, I didn't finish from that. I jumped into the next one. Very sorry. Let's come back here. Okay. Now coming to the Kendra. The 7th is your Kendra only. Okay. Now, because the 7th place is the auspiciousness, is a very good auspicious. The strength will be too much. The strength will be really good. Now move on to the 8th one. That is your Dusthana and the Phanapara. Here is the interesting combination again. Dusthana means your auspicious will be reduced to 0%, but the Phanapara, it have the auspiciousness, 50%. Okay. So if there was a good graha in it, considered the Guru was in it. Okay. Even though it was the Dusthana, the Guru graha was the good auspiciousness, but it will, because of the Phanapara, it will Dusthana also in it. It will give you 50%, means 25% only it will give. I'm giving as an example, but when you are seeing the chart, you will easily understand. Okay. Now we'll move on to the 9th house. This is Trikona and Apoklima. Okay. Here is the point. Here is the again interesting combination. Trikona is your auspiciousness, and Apoklima, the auspicious level will be 25% only. Okay, it will be little bit reduced, but the Trikona have the highest auspicious strength. So if the good graha was present on your 9th, I mean the 9th house, that is your Trikona and Apoklima combination, the auspiciousness will be increased. Okay, now move on to the 10th house, that is your Kendra and the Upachaya. Okay, the Kendra and the Upachaya, 10th is again a Kendra auspiciousness is high, and the Upachaya, that means the auspiciousness will grow year by year. For example, now you are you have the wealth of a few crores, but when the years grows on, your wealth will be grow, and you become crores and crores of. When the wealth will also grow, crore by crore. The growth will be increased day by day. Okay? Then we'll move on to the 11th one. It is a Phanapara and the Upachaya. Okay, the Fanafara is also auspiciousness, but the 50% only. Upachaya, increasing your auspiciousness. Okay, then the 50% will become 100, 200. There was no limit, it will grow. Okay, then we will end into the 12th house. Apoklima and the Dusthana. Okay, some people will say that. Yeah. Anything? Okay, I consider it as no question. Apoklima is there was auspicious will be 25%, but in the combination of the Dusthana, it becomes reduced completely 10% or the 15%. It depends on the Graha present in it. Okay. This all the one chart we already learned what is Kendra, what is Trikona, what is Panapara, what is Apoklima and Upachaya and Dusthana. Okay, I combined put together into a one chart. Okay.
Vinita, can you give us the chart where it says Kendra is auspicious? We know, but the others is difficult to remember. 50%, 25%.
Oh, don't need to remember. Don't need to remember. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't need to remember. Remember this one point. Panafara means whatever your auspiciousness, it won't be the 100%. In the Trikona, you will have the 100% of the auspiciousness. Your Kendra, you will have the good strength in your auspiciousness. But in the Fanafara, it will be half of it or 3/4 of it. Okay. The Apoklima, it is 1/4. Upachaya, it will grow. Upachaya means it will grow. Whether it is the auspiciousness, whether it is an inauspiciousness, both of them will grow. If it is a Upachaya. Dusthana
so Fanafara is half or 3/4?
It half or 3/4. It in between the range.
Okay. And which is the other one you said? Apoklima.
Apoklima means 25% only because the auspiciousness level will be highly reduced, but when comes into Dusthana, completely reduced.
Okay.
Okay.
Understand. Yes. Thank you.
Madam, can I have a question? I have a question. Does the number of planets in these Kendra houses has any effect? That means more number of planets, that means more multiplied effect or something like that? Or it doesn't matter any number of planets, it's only the house where it matters?
It matters. It matters. That is why I told you the story about the Ravana and Indrajit.
Okay.
If it was the number of grahas present in the 11th house, you no need to worry about anything. Everything comes into you, and everything comes into you means you have that ability to conquer anything because you will have a very good intellect and you know what to do. Your leadership will be very high. All kind of the good thing if all grahas was present in the 11th house. But if the number of grahas present in one house, it have the different effect, depends on where it was placed. But the exception is on the 11th house. That's why I told you the story about the Indrajit.
Why specifically 11th house, Vanita? Anything?
Yes, we will understand that one. Okay, remember what is 11th house will contain?
Fulfillment of desires.
Income, friends, labh.
It is the Labhasthan.
Labhasthan, yeah.
So what in other words, it was the fulfillment of the desire. In consider you take the birth on this lifetime, whatever the desires you comes into this life, it will be everything will be fulfilled based on the grahas present.
Okay, that is why 11th is important to have all the planets there. Okay,
yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Madam, one more. Suppose there are 12 houses are there. In 12th house, major all the 5, 6 are the houses are nothing in the nil. Then what it means?
What is it?
Suppose there are 12 houses are there.
12
there are no
houses.
planets in the majors. About 5, 6 planet houses. There are no planets.
Okay.
So
5,
what
6,
it means?
12 houses, I understand. 5, 6 houses, you don't have a planet.
It depends on which place these planets are missing and depending on the capabilities.
Nil grahas are there. So what it
okay,
means?
Okay, I understand your question. Okay, that's why I told you from the beginning also. All the graha, okay, even though you have the 12 houses, you have only the 9 planets only, right? 9 grahas only. The 12 houses, even though if you distribute one, you won't be filled with the 12 houses. Okay. Sometimes some number of the grahas will present in all into one houses also, that's possible. Sometimes it two combination, 3 combination, or every single graha present in it. Okay, now come into your question. If there was no graha present in the one house, what you have to consider? You have to consider who's the ruler, who's the owner of the house. Consider in your Karkarasi, there was no graha in it, but you have to see who's the owner. Who's the owner for the Karka?
Moon.
Moon. Chandra is the owner of the house. Then you have to see in your chart where the Chandra was placed. Okay, then you find out it was considered it was in the Mesharasi. Okay, then from the Mesharasi, you have to find out who is the owner of the Mesharasi.
Okay.
Then who is the owner?
Mars.
This Mangal. Then you have to see the aspect also. Then from the moon, it was placed in the graha of the ruler of the Mangal Rasi, where the aspect will be. That will be a add-on. Don't confuse here. If it consider at this point, remember the only one point. If there was no graha in it, find out who is the ruler. One thing. Then find the ruler where it was present in your chart. Second. Then the third, in the graha which is present, what is the aspect? Consider if the moon was present in the Mesh Rasi, what is the aspect of the moon? Aspect means if you look into it. How many aspects? Only moon have only one aspect. So look into the seventh house. What is the aspect in it? So, till here, remember only these 3 points. Who is the ruler? And that graha where it was placed, what is the aspect?
How to know an aspect means? How to make out how to know aspect?
We'll see it in a very, very earlier lesson. Oh God. Okay. Okay, I will tell you. Sun, moon, Mercury will have the 7 aspects. Okay, let's go into the Mars. Mars will have how many aspects?
3.
What are that?
1, 4, 8, I think.
What is it?
4, 8.
4th and 8th also.
7.
4 and 8, 7. Okay, all the grahas will have the 7. Okay, all grahas will aspect to 7. Now the Jupiter, Mangal will have the 2 aspects additionally. One is the 4 and the 8, and the default aspect is 7. Now coming to the Jupiter. Jupiter, how many aspects will be? Default is 7. What are the other 2 aspects?
5 and 9.
5, 7, 9.
5 and 9.
5, 7, 9.
5, 7, 9. Jupiter.
5, 9, and the default aspect is 7. Okay. Now, which graha we missed? Sun.
Shani.
Mars.
Shani.
4, 7, 8.
Mars we said.
Shani.
Okay,
Shani
Sun.
is 3
Let's
and
come
10.
into Sun. Okay,
3,
Sun.
7, 10.
Okay, 3, 10 is the special aspect. 7th is the default one. Okay, what is the other one we missed?
Rahu Ketu. 3, 7.
Okay,
3,
Rahu
7, 11.
3, 7,
3, 7,
11.
11.
There was another school of the thought is also there. The Rahu and Ketu will look into the 5 and the 9 also. But now we'll stick into the 3, 7, 11 because it will retrograde, reverse. When you see into the 7th, you no need to worry about it. Because even though if you come into the clockwise or anti-clockwise, the 7th house will always be the same. Okay. But when it comes in, when we see the class on the combustion and the retrogradation, we'll see in detail how this aspect will come. Retrogradation when it goes on a reverse, when it goes on a forward, we'll see later. I don't want to confuse at this point. Okay, Ragu, Ketu, Sani. Okay, Chukra. How many aspect for the Chukra?
Only 1, 7.
Only 1, 7. Okay, this much clear?
Okay, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Vanita, along with this, we will also be seeing the exalted and debilitated position of the.
Exactly. Now I'm coming into that. Wait for 1, 2, 3 minutes. I thought to finish. Can we extend the 5 minutes of the class today so that I will reach that point also? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I will come into that point. Okay. Now we'll come into the exaltation and debilitation next one. But before that, we have to understand Mula Trikona. What is the meaning of the Mula Trikona? Okay. Everyone, every graha have their own houses. Okay. But this graha will feel some of the places it's their own place. It was their own favorite place. Okay. So for the Mangal, it was the Mesha Rasi. Mesha Rasi, okay. Now, before that, understanding the Mula Trikona, let's understand what is the Mangal's own Rasi. Mangal's owns two houses, right? What are two Rasis? What are the two Rasis?
Mesha and
Mesha and Vrishchika.
Awesome. Okay, in the among the Mesha and Vrikshika, it considered Mula Trikona as the mass. I mean, if the Mangal was set in the Mesha Rasi, it feels its own house, own favorite house. Mula Trikona means it's my most favorite places. Imagine you are sitting in your home, even though you have a vast area in your home, you feel be very much pleased or happiest person while you're sitting on one particular place, right? It's the same behavior applies to the graha also. When the Mars was sitting on the Mesha Rasi, it feels that highly elevated. Okay, that becomes the Mula Trikona for the Mars. Let's comes into the Chandra. Chandra, what is the Chandra's own house?
Cancer.
Cancer. But Chandra
Karkataka.
Yeah, Chandra don't feel in her own house as the Mula Trikona. It feels the own house as the second house. We know the reason also, right? Because the second house, the Rogini was present in it. Because of that, the Chandra will feel its exaltation point is also on the Rishabha. But at the same time, the Mula Trikona is also on the I find the Surya wrong, it's on the Simha. Okay, it feels the Mula Trikona, that one favorite place is on the Rishabha. Okay, it feels it's so much excited and happiest while it was sitting on the Rishabha. Okay, Surya, it's wrong. It was in the Simha. I wrongly placed on the Kadaka. It is in the Simha. Okay, I again repeat. I'll change it and give you the PPT. But it was in the Simha Rasi. Okay, Surya owns the Simha Rasi only. Okay, Surya owns the Simha Rasi. Then it is Mula Trikona is also on the Simha Rasi. Surya owns only one house only, right? That is the Simha Rasi. That is becomes the Mula Trikona for the Surya. Okay. Now coming to the Buddha. Okay, we'll see the Ragu and Ketu later, but we'll see the Buddha first. What are the two houses for the Buddha?
Mithuna and Kanya.
Mithuna and the Kanya. Among these two houses, even though it have the two houses, but it will feel very much excited, happiest, only it was sitting on the Buddha. When it was in the Kanya Rasi. When it was in the Kanya Rasi, Buddha feels so much happiest. Okay. Now coming into the Chukra. Okay. How many houses Chukra have?
Two. Vrishabha and Tula.
Vrishabha and the Tula. Okay. Even Chukra has the two houses, but one houses were taken by Chandra. Okay. Chukra don't like one sit next to the Chandra. Okay. Then Chukra feels, okay, I don't want you. I have another home. I am going to sit in my another house. Then he find his Tula Rasi as his favorite, and the Chukra's Mula Trikona will be on the Tula Rasi. Okay, when the Chukra was placed on the Tula, the Chukra will be very much excited. Now coming into the Guru, Guru have
Vinita, this is sorry, this is very confusing because the planet, what we understand is the most comfortable in his own house. So now for moon and all, it's not like that. It's you're saying it's though moon is the owner of Cancer, it is not so comfortable in Cancer as in Rishabha, like second house.
Wait. The comfortness will be, for example, you have the number of the houses. Okay, you consider you have 4 houses. But even though you feel residing in one house, you feel happiest, right? Even though you have the 2 houses, 3 houses, but you feel happiest.
Yeah, see, for Mercury, that makes sense. Like you're saying Gemini and Kanya, but more comfortable in Kanya. Okay. Okay, out of the two. But for moon, I'm not understanding because...
Okay, The Chandra is the, okay, why? That is also a very good reason was there. Okay. The Chandra belongs to the mind. Okay, the mind means it won't be very much excited in its own house. Okay, moreover, the Chandra is a one Rasi. It won't be it won't be, it didn't have the Mula Trikona on its own Rasi, because you won't like yourself also. Sometimes the mind won't like, don't think it's right or wrong for you. Okay, I don't want to come into that philosophy, but remember this point. Chandra is one Graha, won't consider the Mula Trikona as its own Rasi. It will be all, exaltation is also on a Rishabha Rasi. For the Chandra, the exaltation point is also Rishabha, Mula Trikona is also under Rishabha. There was one exception. Among all the Grahas, this was one exception was here. That's why Chukra was take the Tula Rasi. I don't want to sit next to the Chandra, and I have my own house, another house also, I'm going to sit there. The Chukra take the Tula Rasi. Now we'll come into the Guru. Guru have the two houses. What are they?
Meena and Dhanush.
Meena and Dhanu. Okay. Among this Meena and Dhanu, Guru feels so much happy when it was in the Guru. I mean, the Dhanush. When it was in the Dhanush Rasi, Guru will feel very much happy. Then Guru considered, okay, my Mula Trikona will be in the Dhanu Rashi. Okay, if the Guru was present in the Dhanu Rashi, and that is also the Mula Trikona, then the auspicious level will be really high. Okay, because why? The Guru is a good auspicious planet among all the Grahas, and it's also sit in his own Mula Trikona, then the auspiciousness will be increased drastically. Okay, let's come into our hero, Sunny. And here, Sunny have two houses, right? What are
Makara, Kumbha.
Makara and Kumbha. Among these two houses, Sunny will feel elated when it was placed in the Kumbha Rasi. Okay. Now come into the another two heroes, Rahu and Ketu. Rahu feel Rahu's Mula Trikona is on the Buddha. I mean Kanni Rasi. And if the Rahu takes the Kanni Rasi, Ketu have no option. Ketu have to be take this 90 degree opposite, the 7th house only. That is your Meena Rasi. So Meena Rasi is the Mula Trikona for the Ketu. This one, don't find a reason. If you find, you can memorize all this thing. Or don't put so much logic into it. It won't give any benefit. Just remember all the things where it was placed. That's more than enough. Because this point where it was placed, what is the Mula Trikona of the which Graha will help you in finding the Shadbala easily. Okay. But nowadays, you no need to find too much effort of the calculation because we have a software. But understanding about the Mula Trikona is the basic one. Okay. Let's quickly getting into the exaltation and debilitation. Okay, next week we will find some of the chart. We will practice some of the chart as well as I also walk you through within the Jagannath Hora software also. So before that, we will finish this one. Okay. In the Surya, exaltation. Okay, Surya Rasi, where it was exalted. You remember when we all the classes we revise on the first 10 minutes of one boxes, right? Every boxes you will see. First Mesha Rasi, Surya was exalted. You remember that one?
Yes.
Yes.
In the Surya Rasi, every boxes have how many degrees in it? You remember we will learn it very, very yearly classes. How many degrees?
30 degrees.
30.
Yeah, 30 degree, right? Every boxes will have 30 degree. First Rasi will have 0 to 30, next will 30 to 60, like that. It will goes on to 30 degree. In the Mesha Rasi, Surya will be exalted, but its exaltation point is 10 degree. Okay, exactly it is at 10 degree. Now we'll see the exaltation point, then we'll see the debilitation point later. Coming to the Chandra. In the Rishabha Rasi, Chandra will exalted in the Rishabha Rasi, but exalt in the 3rd degree itself. Okay. Now, this is the point where I have to teach you about the nakshatra also, but I forgot. Okay, we'll see that in the next week also. Why the Rishabha will come into the picture. Third degree will comes the Kartika nakshatra. But you may ask, Chandra will be most favorite to the Rohini. Rohini becomes the second, next to the Kartika only. Why it was exalted on the 3rd degree? Because the moon was so much excited to see the Rohini next. That's why it was exalted in the Kartika Nakshatra itself. Okay, this was to, for our remembrance, we are telling the story. But memorize this one. At third degree on the Rishabha, it will be exalted. Chanda will be exalted at the 3rd degree. Now we'll move to the Mangal, Makara Rasi, Capricorn, and it is a 28 degree, end of that box. Remember that is the end of the Rasi. Okay, then Buddha, Kanni Rasi, own houses. That means the Kanni Rasi. Among in the Kanni Rasi, it will be exalted at the 50 degree, the middle. Okay, Guru Kadaka Rasi, 5th degree itself, 5 degree itself, it will get the exaltation. Now the Chukra, Meena Rasi, the exaltation is the Meena Rasi, right? Again the Meena Rasi, it was exalted at the end of the box, 27 degrees. Okay. Now the Sunny, the Tula Rasi, it exalted in the 20th degree. Now the Rahu exaltation, there was no degree in it, but remember it was exaltation point is on the Mithuna and the Ketu exaltation is on the Dhanu. Okay, now coming to the debilitation point. Surya debilitate in the Tula Rasi at the 10th degree. Okay, this one was easy to remember. If you remember that box, which is the exaltation, which Rasi is the exaltation, which Rasi is the debilitation. But then here you have to memorize one point. If you remember the numbers, for the exaltation, the same thing applicable to the debilitation point also. In the Tula Rasi, Surya, it was debilitated in the Tula at the 10th degree. Chandra, Vrikshika Rasi, 3rd degree. Mangal, Karka Rasi, 28 degree. And the Buddha, Meena Rasi, 15th degree. Guru, Makara Rasi. So how you can easily remember this one? Exactly seventh house. For the Mesha, which is the 7th house, become Tula Rasi. For the Rishabha, Vrikshika. So if you remember one side of the table, the next side of the table you can derive on your own. What is the 7th house of the Mesha? What is the 7th house of the Rishabha? If you find it, you understand the debilitation point also. Okay. Now the Guru, Makara, Shukra, Kanni at the 27 degree. Sunny, Mesha, 20 degrees. And the Rahu debilitate in the opposite. Okay. Dhanu and the Ketu will debilitate in the Mithuna. Okay. I gave the too much today. We'll see different, we'll practice the same thing in the next class also, but we'll walk through the one software so that you can easily understand. Okay, use this 1 week of the time, collect as much as chart possible. Is that okay? We'll end the class. You have any doubts?
Vanita, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't understood anything. So I need to get back to you on this. I'm sorry.
It's very confusing.
I'm sorry, but I haven't understood anything at all.
Madam, I too have little bit. Madam,
okay, then we'll do one thing. I will go.
Trikona, I didn't. Hello, madam. Trikona,
Can we
I didn't follow fully.
Inuta, can we have a revision of the same session content, please?
Okay, we'll do that on the next week, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll do as a practical session.
Yes,
And Vanita, can we go slow because it's little fast for me at least.
Okay, definitely I will go slow. And next week we will have as a practical session. Whatever we learned, we revise next week. If you didn't understand, we will revise 1 more week also. So don't worry.
Okay, then
we need to memorize all this. That's it, right? We have to just write the tables and memorize it.
Exactly. That's the point. If you memorize everything, whatever I'm saying, it is easy for you.
Oh my God.
But not easy to memorize, Vanita.
I know at this age.
What's the confusion needs to be
removed. Don't worry. You keep the table next to you, and you just point out whichever it is. Okay, I will tell you one thing. Whenever you do the practice for whatever the thing which is next to you, if you practice 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, I don't need to tell you, you know this. But if you practice again and again, it becomes your memory into your subconscious level. You don't need to memorize also.
Actually,
but you have
Vanita, there's so much, all these words, apuchina, and all these words are very confusing. I mean, they're very difficult to remember.
Okay, if the word was difficult to remember, remember that word, succeeding, preceding. If the you don't need to
that I
understand the
know,
word.
but when you teach, no, you have your own words. So it's even the Hindi zodiacs are difficult to remember. I mean, at least for me. So it's a little tough. It takes time.
Yeah, it takes time, definitely. But why I mentioned that name also, sometimes if you read any of the books, sometimes they will mention it as the Panapara. You feel like alien when you read the word. That's why I
What is the actual meaning of Panapara? What does it mean?
Succeeding. From the Kendra.
It's a Sanskrit word?
I guess so.
Okay.
Vanita, can you give us the meanings of these words on a PPT? It will help, to remember.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
Preceding. Sorry, huh? I mean, I'm a real beginner.
Don't be sorry. Whatever you didn't understand, tell me. We'll rectify
And also tell us if there are any few tips to how to remember so many information. I mean, how did you keep all this in your memory rather?
No, but because it was in front of me, I'm reading this for you. But how I memory?
Repetition is the only way to remember.
Repetition is the one thing, and one more thing is whenever I find time, I hear. Mostly, I hear at least 1 hour in a day. Because of that, I don't know. But most of the time, I write. That becomes my memory. I don't know. But usually, you practice, it will come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Madam, what I'm doing is I'm having a big table I prepared in a book. All the chart I prepared. In that I filled up all the details. Full one book I have taken. In that I made all the 12 houses, and in that all owner of those everything I wrote. That I'm following. And secondly, what I didn't follow is when good place, wrong place you are telling that we don't know which is in a good place. Is that I don't know. Second thing, what I want to know is the Mula Trikona I didn't follow, madam. What you said very fast. First of all, let us consider Jupiter. It is let us see that I want to be a little doubt about the Mula
Don't worry.
Trikona.
Whatever we learned till now, I will go one by one, and we will go
Only
with the
Mula Trikona a bit difficult. I didn't follow.
She'll repeat. No, ma'am said she'll repeat. So
Definitely, I will repeat everything.
And Vinita, what are the good grahas? I want to know that.
Okay, the good graha, good is the guru, but the chukra is also. But sometimes when you say is the auspicious level, guru is the best one. But every graha is the good, because why? There are the good leaders. They had the good domination of the Mars, that is the Mangal. They involved in the world peace also. They involved in leading the good peoples also. They teach very good peoples also. So it don't mind about which graha is good or bad. It depends on which it was placed in it. Number of the peoples will say the sunny whenever there's 7.5 years, my life becomes the tedious and I was not able to do anything. But that is the time you learn your lesson very efficiently. The entire consider your lifespan is about 90 years or 100 years. But that 7.5 years is the time where you will understand your lessons very easily, and you will go through on your own experience. You will go through your emotional trauma, physical trauma, whatever it is, you will understand at that point. So for me, I considered all graha is a good graha, and everything is the good. I don't think it is a good or bad. You see as auspicious and inauspicious level. If it was not auspiciousness, increase the auspicious level. How you can increase? Chant or else meditate and do good things. Donate. Food donation is the best one. Go to temple, walk on the nature, and plant some trees and give food donation. That becomes increase your auspicious level. Even though if you have the 0 degree of the auspiciousness, but depends upon what are the good things you are doing in your life, how you keep your mind in a stable state and the good state, then the auspicious will increase on its own. Okay, this one I will speak in a very detail in a later lessons, because
Vanita,
if I start,
this class needs to be repeated, please.
Yeah, she said she'll repeat. No?
Definitely will do. Yeah, we will see you next week then.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vanita.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Vanita. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks, Sunita. Bye.
Thank you.